One Piece chapter 996 is out, so if you haven't read the chapter, I would suggest you go read the chapter and then come back to this video, because I will be spoiling you. Now that you've read the chapter, let's move on. So let me start at the bat and say that this is a very good chapter. This is an excellent chapter. There's a lot of progression. There's a lot of events that happened. We got to see a lot of characters that we couldn't see for a while. So off the bat, this is a 4.2 out of 5 for me. So let's just get that out of the way. And even the cover page was really good. Blackbeard got some love, which he really needs. And it was nice to see Blackbeard again after a while. Now the chapter starts out with, of course, where we left out last chapter. Koma Inu running away with Nami and Usopp. Now Nami asks Otama how she got here in the first place, and she said it's from through an enemy ship. So this is pretty interesting because a lot of people have theorized that the shadow that we saw behind Jinbei and Robin was probably Otama and Koma Inu. Now that's most likely the possibility, but there is also a possibility that it's not her. It could be someone else. It could have been someone else that we already met, like maybe Yamato, but she came on an enemy ship. She didn't come to the samurai ship because that time the only ships were all samurai ships, and they were docking and all that stuff. So she came to an enemy ship, which could be a later. She probably arrived later to Onigashima, or she probably even arrived earlier to Onigashima, which is not clear. We'll have to see how that goes. But then they leave the baboon to fight both Ulti and Page One. We don't know how that's gonna go, but most likely the baboon is done for. I mean, what can a baboon do against two ancient zone users, right? But then Otama assures Nami that not to look down on them, which is great. She's again proving to be a brave samurai. All that's good. Now that we move to the best part of the story, for me at least, which is Master Yamato. Now Yamato is actually holding up against the armored corps really well. She is putting a lot of pressure. He's putting on a lot of damage, and then you can see that he's also taking a lot of damage back. Yamato is getting hurt a lot, but he is surviving. Of course, he's Kaido's son, so you can expect that he's defensive. But there's an interesting thing we saw here is that Yamato actually does have a devil fruit. We don't get to see the complete transformation, but we can see his teeth transform into like a carnivorous animal. It's definitely a carnivore. It cannot be herbivore. I mean, Queen did have sharp teeth, even though he's a herbivore, but this one has some sharp incisors. So I'm gonna say this is some kind of a carnivorous dinosaur or animal, or maybe even a dragon, of different version of a dragon. I don't know. But either way, Yamato is very strong. That's undeniable. She would be a very strong addition to the team if she joins the Straw Hats. She, of course, refuses to leave Shinobu behind, claiming that Odin would never do that. Kudos. Yes, Odin would not do that. So, again, Yamato getting more and more respect, more and more love. I love that. She deserves more. He deserves more, however you want to say it. Then, of course, we see Frankie come into the scene and Hacha. Hacha is, once again, he's just rampaging. He's drunk, he's rampaging. He opens the floor for Yamato to escape with Shinobu and Momonosuke, which is the only good thing about Hacha. And Frankie confirms that Yamato is an ally, and he accepts Yamato's help, and he accepts to stay behind and hold those guys back. Now, here again, one more thing about Yamato. Yamato uses a strange technique. Again, the same thing that she used 2 chapters ago. He uses that same technique to take out Hacha. It's like a projectile technique. He just hits it with almost like a baseball, as if he hit a baseball right through Hacha's face. So I don't know how that attack works, what technique he's using. Maybe he's using armament haki, you know. But anyway, I digress. That's a very good technique, and he basically one-shot Hacha. So he, she, Yamato, well, whichever pronoun you want to use it right now, is strong, and he deserves to be in the Straw Hat crew, at least for me. Then we move on to the next part. Before we move on to the next part, this is again interesting. Yamato continues to tell Momo that he's the person who's going to be the dawn of the world. So it's constantly kept repeated at this point. Yamato says that to Momo, and what's his name, Pedro says that to Luffy. So obviously Luffy and Momo are supposed to be the ones who foresee the dawn, or who bring the dawn to the world, and that's why it took 20 years for this prophecy to come true, because Luffy would have been born right now. And that's why I mean, there was always a question, why did it take 20 years? Why didn't they just go like a couple of years forward in time and then, take on Kaido? But then they had to wait for Luffy. So did Oden know that Luffy would be born at this time? Did Oden know that there'd be some kind of uprising, some kind of a strong pirate crew like the Straw Hats would emerge? So something interesting there is going on, and Yamato clearly has read Oden's journal. We know that. So could Oden have written something about that in Oden's journal? What is Yamato's deal? Yamato knew everything about Luffy. Yamato even knows about Shogun Frankie really well. And Yamato knows about Momonosuke and how about the dawn of the world and everything. So what is going on here? So does this have connections to the will of D? Does D that stands for dawn? Who knows? Which is interesting because it ties into the very next part of the chapter, which is Law almost finds another poneglyph. He does find another poneglyph, but it's not the poneglyph he wants. We do know that Kaido has a red poneglyph, but the one Law finds is not the red poneglyph, unfortunately. So there is something more here. He has to dive deep into it, and Kaido probably has it hidden somewhere else. So, and then Law tells that he wants to find the will of D. It's very interesting that this event precedes that event with Momosuke and Yamato. She talks about the dawn of the world and how Momo is the one who's going to bring it, and then it goes into Law trying to find the will of D and the meaning of the will of D. So I believe that they are connected. Oden knows something about the will of D. It's possible that Oden is also from the D clan. Who knows? So they're all connected, probably. And Yamato, having read the journal of Oden, knows what is going on. She knows about the will of D. She knows how this is going to play. Anyway, moving on from there, there's a flashback of Law talking with the Robin. He's trusting her with his name, and she admits that she does not know enough about the D clan, and she is also interested in the D clan. And she tells him to find the red poneglyph, and that is not the red poneglyph. So Law, of course, Law's part in this One Piece story is almost done. His whole deal was to take down Dofi as revenge for Corazon. So the only thing remaining left for Law in actual plot wise is the D connection. To him, he has to find out what is up with D. Once that is done, Law's role in this entire story is over, because he does not have the reason to become a Pirate King. He doesn't want any of that. He wanted to take down Dofi, that's done. He wanted to take down Kaido, and that's probably going to be done right now. And then he's going to find out the will of D, what it is, and then he's done. So this is once more ascertaining that Law could probably die during this arc. He has the Opi no Mi, and he has to perform that operation at some point, and then he has to give up his life. So it's all kind of piling up together, and there is possibility that Law could die sometime soon, probably even later on. And then we move on to all the series of events happening. We can see Kid, after a long time we are seeing Kid actually do something, and he is busy collecting. This whole time he was rampaging all around the castle, and he was collecting metals. He was making preparations to actually fight Kaido, which is very smart. He knows how to fight Kaido because he's fought Kaido before, and he's collecting all the metals. What he's gonna do with the metals, we don't know, but he asks Killer if that metal is enough, and Killer obviously replies, it's not enough, it's better to be more prepared because we're facing up the strongest pirate in the world. So Kaido is currently the strongest pirate in the world, at least according to Killer. Anyway, take that as you will. Power scalers are going to go nuts again with all of these, using the phrases and using the words to justify things. So anyway, take it as you will. Onigashima, Skull Dome, Rooftop, we see Kaido beat the crap out of Kinemon. I don't know if Kinemon is done for, probably not, because he does have haki and all that stuff, and it's too soon for the samurai to completely go down, because Luffy is still in the third floor. He has to come all the way to the top floor. At least till then, these guys should be fighting and keeping Kaido, occupied. So they are gonna get up, and we see Denjiro get smacked in the face. At least he lands a hit through Kaido, and Kaido is completely unfazed. Even the wounds that he had, even the wound on the one that Oden gave him, even the blood on that is completely gone. So Kaido is recovering really fast, and he doesn't seem to be phased at all right now. The samurai are all bloodied up. I think only Kawamatsu is the one finally standing, and Raizo's trying to get up. Either way, they have to stall. They have no other choice. So all these other people are trying to come to the top floor, and till they make it to the top floor, Kaido is going to be brutalizing them. That's how it's gonna go. And then Big Mom, of course, comes in, and all of them are shocked. You can see Robin, Chopper, Apu, Zoro, and even what's his name, Drake. They're all shocked to see Big Mom, and she assures them that she has no business with them. She's going directly to Kaido. And I have to say that this is kind of interesting about Big Mom, because Big Mom has never been this level-headed in all of One. With every time we see Big Mom, she is not at all level-headed. She doesn't focus on the prize. She just rampages around. She just gets distracted. She does something and ends up doing something else. But this time, Big Mom is actually being completely focused. She's just like Luffy right now. Luffy is ignoring everything just to get to Kaido. He's ignoring all the chaos. He's leaving his crew to deal with all these powerful people, and almost they're dying. I mean, Nami and Usopp almost died if it wasn't for Otama's interference. So he is ignoring everything just to get to Kaido. The same way Big Mom just ignored Perospero, ignored Marco, all of these people that she has beef with, and she's just going towards Kaido. She just wants to get Luffy's head. That's what she came to Wano for, and that's what she is doing right now. So it's nice to see Big Mom being level-headed for once. Moving on from that, we see Luffy. Of course, he's running towards the next stages of the castle. He's still in the second floor right now. Yeah, so he's in the second floor, and he's got to get through the fifth floor. So there are 3 more floors left to get through. And of course, Jinbei and Sanji are providing him backup so that he doesn't use up his stamina or get distracted. And then the final panel is what got me sad. Now, I love Sanji and Zoro. For me, are pretty much equal. I love Sanji and I love Zoro, and I know Zoro is a dumbass when it comes to directions, and Sanji is a dumbass when it comes to women. But it's been played out. We've had enough of that. And Zoro hasn't been doing that much, when it comes to getting lost. It's not being, repeated too much. But the thing with Sanji is getting out of hand. I mean, this is really scaring me what is going to happen right now. That's Black Maria that he's listening to. He can hear Black Maria's voice, and he's already shocked. His eyes are all cracked, and yeah, we know what's going on. He's going to get bloodied up by Black Maria. I just hope that Luffy and company are smart enough to not leave Sanji there. They take him with him. They just take him. Otherwise, it's going to be a simple moment for Sanji again, and I hate to go through that all over again. Oh god, the last panel was kind of depressing for me. Electricity runs through his body. Oh god, no. No, please, no. And of course, no break next week, so that is a mood booster. But Sanji, come on. At least, maybe Sanji gets a development. Maybe he actually fights a woman for once. Yeah, that's too much to ask for, especially because Black Maria looks good. Oh god, Sanji. Okay, fine. Let's forget that one part. I'm just going to pretend that that didn't exist, because I love Sanji and I don't want him to be a simp again. I'm hoping that, it somehow changes, or Luffy just grabs him and then takes him with him or something like that. This is ridiculous. I don't want another Sanji simp moment. Every single arc, Oda just has to make Sanji look bad by putting a simp moment in there. And it's getting played out. Like, it was really cute and funny in the pre-time skip when Sanji was going gaga, but now this is a serious war, and he's already in the beginning of the war itself. He was going after prostitutes, and that was really annoying. But then he did make it up, and he had this grand entrance. He was fighting King. Awesome moments for Sanji. But then we have to go back to this again. Oh god, no. I'm just gonna pretend that didn't happen. Okay, let's just pretend that didn't happen. We'll pick it up in the next chapter, and there's no break next chapter, so next week we can pick it up. But this whole chapter was really good. There was a lot of progression. That's the most important part. We saw what Law is up to, because we didn't see that for a long time, and a lot of people were theorizing that maybe Law is going to betray the Straw Hats. He has some other scheme, which is still possible. That's still possible that Law is gonna betray someone, whatever. But it's nice to see what Law is doing. It's nice to see what Kid is doing. This whole time he's been running around gathering metal, so it makes sense that we didn't see him for a while. We saw Killer. We saw what how the Akazaya 9 are being treated by Kaido. We see Big Mom. Big Mom is making progression. She's heading towards the roof. Luffy and company are heading towards the roof. So a lot of progression. Now, for the remaining couple of chapters, I'm pretty sure this is exactly what's going to be happening. In the for example, right now in this chapter, Luffy is in the second floor, right? So in chapter 997, he's going to be in the third floor. In chapter 998, he's going to be in the fourth floor. In chapter 999, he's going to be in the fifth floor. And in chapter 1000, that is when he's going to reach the roof. That is when Ruffy's going to reach the roof. That is when Big Mom is going to reach the roof. That's when Kid and Law, all these people are going to be reaching the roof at chapter 1000. That is the big deal with chapter 1000. I know a lot of people have a lot of expectation for chapter 1000. I'm going to make a complete video on all the expectations that different people have and the expectations that I'm going to keep. So I believe that chapter 1000 is just going to be all these people finally meeting in the roof, because that's what's been built up this whole time. There's no reason to not believe that. So I'll save that for another video. But this chapter, we'll just focus on this chapter right now. 4.2 out of 5. Love this chapter, love the art, love the emotion, love the pacing. Everything is good. So thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy this video. If you have anything to comment about, please comment below. I will check into that, and I will catch you in another video. Thank you for watching. Bye.